and we just focus on teaching and issues of teaching. Go ahead.
بله ما به مسئله عزیز میگم که ما از تجربه خود هم در جریان تدریس از زمان تدریس و هم در مدیریت هایی که بودیم، مهدی جان یک فضای بسیار خوب تیم ورکینگ ایجاد میکنه. ما همیشه گفتیم که شما در هر کاری که باشن تیم ورکینگ نتایج بسیار بسیار مثبت داره. این رقمی که شما مثلا شاگردا به 3 کاتگوری است در کل جای از واقعیتش است و هر کاتگوری دیگر را کمک کنه. ما همیشه مثال چی را دادیم، همین فوتبال شما ببینید یک نفر ممکن یک توپ شخصی بکشه تا آخر ببره گل کنه، اما او بسیار به تکلیف میشه. اما وقتی که تیم ورکینگ باشه او بسیار به سادگی میتونه که گل کنه، که گل به هدف رسیدن است. و این سیستمی که مهدی جان ایجاد کرده بسیار سیستم مثبت است. ما یک وقت فکر میکردم که همین تیم یک کلمه است، اما پس آن فهمیدم که این تیم ابریویشن است، کلمه نیست، که تیش توگیدر است، ایش everyone است، ایش اچیو است و امش مور است. یعنی شما به تنهایی اگر کار کنین اونقدر دستاوردتان کلان نیست، اما اگر تیم کار کنین امو یک نفر هستن، اما دستاوردتان از او که شما سنگل یا مستقلانه برین بسیار زیاد است. چیش ظلم نمیشین، خستم نمیشین، انرژی کم و نتیجه زیاد میگیرین. تشکر.
تشکر جانم. ببخشید یلدا جان بفرما. یلدا
سلام به همه اساتید. میشنوین استاد صدای من؟
بله.
سلام به همگی. انشالله خوب سلامت باشین. من کوتاه میخواستم بگویم که اگر گروپ ها متفاوت است فرق نمیکنه، این دفعه تجربه متفاوت حاصل میکنیم، با دوستای نو ما کار میکنیم و روحی همکاری ما همراه تمام شاگردا حفظ میشه. ما همراه تمامتون همکاری میکنیم. این به این معنا نیست که اگر یلدا در گروپ حسیناست یا در گروپی است که هم دوستاش نیست ما همراه شما همکاری نکنیم. نه خیر، ما همراه کلتون همکاری میکنیم. فرق نمیکنه که در کدام گروپ باشیم. مهمی است که درسای ما پیش بره، ما سر دانش خود سر مهارت خود کار کنیم و کار گروپی به نظر ما بسیار کار خوب است. ولی پشت از این زیاد نگردیم که یلدا باشه، ساره در گروپ باشه، فائقه باشه. در سمستر ما باید یک چیز متفاوت تجربه کنیم و من خوش هستم که میتونم همراه تمام دخترها در بخش همکاری کنم. برای من هیچ مشکل نیست. همراه سحر هم کار میکنم، همراه ساره هم کار میکنم، همراه فائقه، اگر او در گروپ باشن. و همین بهتر است که بیشتر از یک سری گپ بزنیم، وقت ما ضایع شه، استاد لکچر خود بده و ما صحبتایشون بشنویم. نظریات تمام اساتید ما قابل قدر است و ما باید از این استفاده کنیم. دخترها ما میتونیم همراه هم دیگه همکاری کنیم. سر گروپ ها زیاد فکر نکنین. کل ما را استاد نجیم در یک گروپ جمع کرده، ما میتونیم اونجا صحبت کنیم، نظریات خود تبادله کنیم و این به نظر من بهترین راه حلش است. و هیچ وقت سر گروپ ها فکر نکنین، اون زیاد قابل تشویش نیست. تشکر.
تشکر یلدا جان، شما همیشه کمک کردین و مفید تمام شد. دست استاد میرانگیز بالاست، از اونا میخوایم.
یلدا جان تشکر.
استاد میرانگیز صدایتان میوت است.
ساری ببخشن. یلدا جان بسیار تشکر. همیشه تو بسیار یک کفتان موفق و یک دوست خوب، یک شاگرد فوق‌العاده جدی بودی و ما میخواییم که خودت یک الگو و کل شاگردای دیگه باشی که این میگه پایی که زدی واقعا بجا، بسیار راست میگی، درست میگی. آدم دیگه زیادتر دوست پیدا میکنه، دست به دست دیگه هم میده. و فقط منظوری که من میخواستم بگویم پیش از صحبت خودت است که دلیلی که مهدی جان گروپ ها را تغییر میده اینا یک چیز واضحه که بر لول دانشتان است، اما این را یادتان نره که یک جنبه دیگه تدریسی ازی برشان با ایست که در هر دفتر این آرکیتکچر کار کنین شما تنها هیچ وقت کار نمیکنین یا امرای رفیقایتان کار نمیکنین. شما پرینسپل براتان میگم امرای اینی برین اینی پروژه کار کنین. اینا دیگه این نیست که تو رفیقه که باید اونجا باشه که ساعتتان تیر شوه یک آدم گپ و خنده کنه. You're there to do the job. You need to get چی میگن؟ آدم امروی همه جوش باید بخوره، امروی همه باید بتونه کار کنه. That's it.
تشکر امیر جان. That was perfect. I couldn't say it better. Thank you.
Ustad Mehdi, with your permission, I have to leave.
Okay. No problem. Go ahead.
I think the recording is on, and I hope everything will be. I leave everything on in my office.
نجیم جان من فقط یک چی میخوایم بگم واقعا اگر نمیتونن بسیار کار دارن دفتر ایناست I can help you with all of these things so
Great.
please let's talk privately من چه رقم شما را کمک میکنم
Okay. Thank you so much میرنگیزن. Thank you.
تشکر از نجیم جان.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
I will be back.
Okay.
بسیار ما کلاس خوب از 16 نفر از حداقل 10 نفر از شاگردا تشریف دارن. یک جان تشکر.
Tashakkur. Anybody else? Tubojan, you had some comments?
بازم دست سارا جان بلند است.
Good. As Mirangiz John said, this is part of the challenge. We have to work and we have to get along with and learning leadership. It doesn't have to be specific people or specific group. That is part of the learning process. That's all.
As a matter of fact, I have always been in one way or another, like you guys, working in a group or individually, but working with the groups, always had people just like myself. I had a different views about things, but I did learn from them. I respected them, and they helped. They were responsible. I was responsible. I'm sure we all did it. And this is something that I like to instill in students, that to become an architect is easy, but to become a good person, to produce quality work and help others and learn and teach others is far more complex and far more important. Anyway, yes, Sarah John, let's you have it, make your comments short so we can start the class. Thank you.
I want
Go
to
ahead.
say it again that it's not about friendship. I don't like friendships either because I'm not in that situation to have friends. I just wanted to learn and have the best experience from this project. But we are not in the same class to work with the people that we don't know. We can't discuss really good about that because I'm not good in this. But if the situation is like this, I will continue, or I couldn't continue. It's not the problem. The problem is that it's not about friendship and having fun time or being with friends. I just wanted to be at the same group just because to have a good experience of learning. And I and Yaldajan discussed and that we together decided to talk about this thing, but Yaldajan said something really different in this session. I don't know why. But we discussed about this, that we wanted to be in the same group, not for friendship. Thank you.
Well, Sarajan, just I'll make it very quick. Thank you for your passion, and thank you for your concerns. I respect that. And from my experience and everyone else's here, you performed exceptionally well last class. So obviously you don't have a problem with learning and expressing your ideas. I have utmost respect and appreciation of your hard work. And I think that's all that matters. Whatever you are, whether you're with enemy or with friend, you perform because you think that you want to improve the learning process. And that's important. All right. All right. Let's start the, since there's no more discussion, first of all, I want to ask students at this point, have you all had the opportunity to read and understand the syllabus? Now, I understand I got from Yelda about 3 minutes or 4 minutes before class that she cannot open the syllabus. Now, I don't want to embarrass you, Yelda John. You're too smart, you're too intelligent, and you're very good. But I do not expect you to try to open a document right before the the class discussion. I expected you to try to open it 2 or 3 days ago. If you had a problem before, then it would have been easy to solve it and send another one. So you don't have to respond. I'm not asking you to respond to me, but I'm just saying to every single student, we have all these faculty here, they're working hard. And then you have to believe that to out of their good heart and out of interest that we're trying to help everyone. And you students must be proactive. When you're given an assignment or a task, Do not wait until the last minute. Do it a week before, do it 2 days before, do it 3 days before. It's much more better for you because then you don't have to be rushed and be stressed a few minutes before the class. All right? Anybody else? Great. All right. As you know, that students and faculty, we talked about the creating projects that are relevant to where you live, where you live with your family, with your community, with your country, and the issues that you're aware of, the issues you're concerned about, which are the issues in Afghanistan. And architecture, like any other field, try to alleviate those problems or those challenges. And regardless, all 3 projects are given that are in 3 groups are directly connected to your experience as an Afghan student, as a female Afghan student, a student that you care about your environment, about your place that you live, about your profession in general, about architecture, about learning. So as a result of that, all 3 faculty, we try to do our best to create these projects that you're familiar with. So what I have done in consultation with some of my colleagues, that I have given this project that you create a visitor center for the most beautiful place, which is the Bubble Gardens. I don't know if there's an existing one or not, but that's besides the point. What I would like you girls to do to consider this project to create a design concept, and I hope for those of you were in our previous classes that you bring that information with you forward to this one. And everything we did there is completely relevant to what you're going to be doing here. This project is 11-week project, and you have to make sure that you adhere to the schedule. Schedule means that we have 11 weeks. Today is the first class. Today is the first class. If you miss the next class, you better talk to your group member and learn about it before you come to the following class. So it's important. We're important about the education. Concerned about the education because it's an important issue. But you should also be concerned about the education because you have to make sure that you learn the relevant information that you will be given about architecture, about technology, about whatever it may be. And lastly, please be open. Please get involved in a discussion when your project is reviewed, every one of you. So we expect each one group to show the progress of their work at the following class. There is no going back and forth. You can go back and forth in terms of design thinking, but not in terms of the schedule. We're moving today. I'm hoping that everyone is engaged, has read some part of the project, and to react to the issues that we're going to discuss. All right? Anybody else would like to say anything about the project? That if you have questions or anything, we will be more than happy to help you. And I assume that most of you have read the assignment. Anybody? All right. I'm sorry to say that it sounds like you haven't read. So I assume that you haven't read. So that's the first lesson, that you got to be proactive. Otherwise, it will be a waste of your time and also a waste of our time. Yes, Sarajan.
Yes, I have read it 2 days ago and also today. But if I say that, you will also misunderstood this thing.
Sorry?
I have already read the documents that you have sent. We had it even before Mehdi sent that to us. So I studied that.
Good.
Be sure.
Do you have any question, any issues that I should consider for editing or anything? Any question?
Yeah, my question is about that there was mentioned in the project that the visitor center should have a connection through the bridge or underground tunnels. But can we make that, or we should ask about the laws of Kabul and the city about this, or we should just make that imaginary tunnel under the street? That was my biggest question and problem in that.
That was a suggestion. A lot of those syllabus requirement, program requirements are suggestions. There's a bare minimum requirement. What I was trying to say is that you as a student of architecture should find a way or think as part of your design discussion, how do you connect the center, which is across the road from the Babur, Bagh Babur, whether it's through bridge, tunnel, or you don't want to do that. You just want people to go across. I don't care. Traffic light, I don't know. But I do appreciate the concern about the Kabul rules and regulations. I think you should be aware of it. But at this point, I personally feel that your creativity in terms of these issues are far more critical to me if the Baladi Kabul allows or it doesn't allow. Okay, so keep that in mind. But it's all your responsibility to go. And I'm glad that you brought this up because you're a very conscientious student. I know that from the previous class. But do not allow that to hamper your design decision. Okay, Mehdi John wants to say something.
Actually, I didn't. I'm sorry. Did I?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sound? I was listening. It was great conversation.
Okay. Anybody else? Sarajan, did you understand that?
Yeah, I got that. Thank you.
Good. Anybody else? No? All right. Okay. This is the first page of the program. And I call it ARC301. It could be ARC30, ARC302. It doesn't really matter. But it is an online architecture studio, and we have the challenges that we have to deal with. But hopefully, from last semester, we learned a few things, a few tricks to avoid the challenges. It is a project in Bagh Babur in Kabul, which is in Afghanistan, obviously. Now, there is a course description about this specific course description it's an online-based environment to develop design concept. I think every student should at this point realize that this development of the concept in Merengijan, Tubajan, everyone, and Umayjan, they all said that it is really critical to develop the concept. You don't develop it just by drawing plans and elevations. You develop it from some source of inspiration. Some source of inspiration can be anything or anywhere and anybody or any object or any place. So that is critical, that this concept has to be developed for a small public space. This is a small public space, and when you go to the program, you will see it's no more than 300 square feet, meter, or 400 square meter. But the actual site is much bigger. Emphasizing the building tectonics, which means building technology. As you develop your design later on doing design concept, you have to think about the structure, what kind of structural system you may want to apply, what kind of material you may want to use in your project. And these are the things that you have to work with your group to see what is, for instance, when we talk about steel and concrete, is that available? What are the options that you should be using? Is it you have to weigh the issues of pluses and minuses in terms of using any material that you're going to consider, whether it's the envelope of the building or the inside of the building. Because the last class we did not discuss much, we did not emphasize any issues of the materiality of the building for the building envelope, structure, and the interior spaces. Building case studies and design concept explores a range of material and construction system and types, including steel, wood, masonry, reinforced concrete, and alternative man-made, which is synthetic. Then the course objectives are very clear, and I'm going to ask every student to read very carefully. These are serious objectives that we're trying to establish as we move on with this course. And the learning outcome. Learning outcome is that after you go through the course, what are the outcomes? What are the final issues about learning of architecture? Then assessment and progression method. There are basically three phases in this project. Pre-design, which is a research. Most of you went through it, which is really critical. There's no design involved. It's just a research. You research the environment, the context, Kabul city, the neighborhood of Bagh Babur, the land formation of Bagh Babur, the traffic, the visitors, movements, the orientation, vegetation, all that we already talked about in the last class we taught. So those are, again, continuing to this project. Then comes the design concept. How do you use all that research in pre-design that that you have established and use it as a stepping stone or a bridge to start developing your design concept? Design concept in the last class we talked about was quite complex. Kindly, everyone contributed explaining. Mehdi John, Tuba John, Humayun John, and Najim John, everyone talked about design concept. The inspiration that you get. Inspiration is a very personal issue. What inspired you to come up with certain idea of design? That is really important. We'll talk about more. And the final presentation. And you're going to put all three phases together, and come up with a presentation that is cohesive, that is self-explanatory in terms of graphics, and of course there will be challenges, but we will talk about, and we'll give some additional information in lectures about other issues of graphics. The one thing that I have come across, which is so true, you probably already know if you go to the Kabul Museum, apparently in old Kabul Museum, on the wall there was written, یک ملت زمانی زنده میماند که فرهنگش زنده بماند. This is something that we all have to know about our culture. The issue of culture is critical, and I think this is where you girls are going to take your serious design issues, questioning issues about your new design as related to culture, as related to the landscape of Kabul or Afghanistan, as related to the people, the language, the food, the clothes, whatever it may be. These are the issues, the color, the texture. It's critical that you all must look into these issues. As an architect, I'm serious because we had to do it. Everyone has to do it in order to become a decent architect. So Bagh Babur Visitor Center is really for general public. They go to this space to learn about general setup of the country, the Kabul, and this Bagh Babur, for instance. So where it came from, what was the idea behind it, who was behind it, and how did that influence the setup or the planning of the Bagh Babur. Obviously, the Bagh Babur has gone through amazing changes, because when I was there in 2002, yes, right after the war, and I realized that how beautiful the place was. When I was growing up in Kabul, in Kote Sangi, we used to go and visit, and I remember it was the most beautiful place, like a heaven on earth. And then when I went back in 2002, I saw the ruin, and I thought that was, oh my God, why humans are doing this? Why this is destroyed? And how now is the responsibility of the Afghans from all walks of life to take care of this beautiful place, because it is for everyone. So this place that you're creating at the visitor center is going to be a place for everyone to walk in, women, men, young, old, Muslim, not Muslim, to learn about the culture of Afghanistan. So there will be a place that you learn quickly about the culture, about the setup of Bagh Babur and what it gives to people when you go for a visit. You talk about Afghan cultural issues, the context. I talked about the neighbor, what's around the neighbor. Could this new center be a hub for people getting together and helping each other? It's not just visiting Bagh Babur, but also how do they come together and help each other in every aspect of life. Also, and also you have to create a place that has a physical and visual connection to the Bagh Babur. Almost accept that this visitor center is the extension of, potentially could be the extension of Bagh Babur in terms of the environment that you create. This is a map that I downloaded from online. I did a research and it gives the topographic heights of the Bagh Babur and also its development in terms of the division of spaces. It's quite a symmetrical space. It has a spine coming right through in the center as the water source to give water to the small gardens. These are the things that they should be inspired with. I would suggest that all of you go there if you can. If you can, or if you can't, then ask friends to go and take some photographs and learn more about it. Learn how it was established. What was the idea behind it? Is it possible to you translate this notion of public space, because it is a public space, and help you out and inspire you to create this visitor center as a public place, a place that you feel belonging when you go there as an Afghan. Design focus, the urban context, the city scale, the tectonic or technology that exists, or the technology that you may introduce. For instance, I've always been fascinated with these countries like Afghanistan. We never explored the notion of how to develop Adobe, GIL, and take it to the next level with a newer material and use that as a material for the building envelope, perhaps. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out. Also, as Sarajan asked about this bridge and tunnel, you see that I put a question mark there? That doesn't mean that you have to do. That means that you question it. What is your resolution if you're not going to have a bridge and tunnel? What do you think? What should be? Is it important? Is the connection of this visitor center, critical to the actual Bagh Babur, or it's not? Or you have other thinking that you may have. Building envelope and detailing, that you should have some idea about the technology of the building material and how it works structurally. Functional and practical design concerns. We're talking about the interior spaces in terms of air, light, visual connection, privacy. These are all critical issues that you have to really become aware of. And I don't want less what you did last semester. It has to be more. You have to advance now. Exterior interior concerns indicates appropriate finishes, furnishing. Details are sympathetic to the existing architecture of Kabul. Like last class that you were talking about Murad Khani material and beautiful windows that we're talking about. What a great lesson. I learned a lot. Mehdi John was kind enough to do her research from her master's degree, and she tried to teach girls that it is important when we talk about the culture. Culture is not just a human being. It's the entire existing, including the birds, the trees, the land, the water, the food, the language we talked about. So, and the environment that are man-made, like Murad Khani. Each group will be composed of 4 students. total in-house staff in the center that people are going to be working there, only 10 to 12 people. They're permanently working there. You need space like offices. And daily visitors are about 150 to 200 people. Again, just imagine that it's not all for men and it's not all for women. Every gender will visit there. Every age will visit there. Every foreigner will visit there. As a matter of fact, I've been reading that foreigners are trying to visit Kabul now. It's getting better, which is great because it really brings the issue of connection between the indigenous population of Afghanistan, or especially in this case Kabul, and the rest of the world that they come in and for visit. So the total square area is about 1,400 square meter. The total design must not exceed 400 to 500. 400 to 500 is really maximum. And that includes the 15% for circulation. Both circulation, I'm talking about the interior circulation. If it's a 1 floor or 2 floors, so it'll be 15%. The list down below is partial, but I have included public spaces, for instance, information registration, 40 square meter, but 40 square meter is not etched in stone. It could be 38, it could be 30, it could be 35, it could be 45, but it cannot be 70 or 100. So you have to really start thinking about these issues. How do you fit? I just gave you that example, and that can be applied to all these different spaces. Then also I have written there areas that you have to determine. You have to do research properly and determine a number of square meter or square foot that is needed there. And then there's administrative spaces that we talked about, that there are only 10 to 12 people working there permanently to service the place. No one lives there. These are the people, they go there from 8 in the morning until probably 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon to manage and service the center. The center, as you can see in here, it shows exactly where it is. It's right across from the Bagh Babur to Bagh Babur. It says right there, right here. And it's a triangular space, is right near the Kabul Bridge, or Kabul River. Now, when you start thinking about design, start thinking about even in pre-design during research, when you think about it, you have to consider that. You have to consider what's going on in the river here. You have to be concerned about what's going on here. You have to concern yourself about the other neighbors, what's going on in here, for instance. I'm not kidding. Yes.
Could you share that syllabus that you're talking about so we can see
I have.
well?
I will send it to you.
Oh, since you were talking about it, that's why I was like, wait, I would like to see. I'm sure Dr.
Okay, well, no, they have it.
Oh.
They have it. They have all this information.
Mehdi John,
it's not on the screen. It's not on the screen. I can't see it, Mehdi John.
Are you sure?
Yes.
مهدی جان رقمی که شما گپ میزنین here تو معلومه که شما کدام چیزی رو شیر کردین ولی ما دیدن
Oh my God. I'm sorry about that. Let me share again. This is not I'm really sorry about this. I'm really sorry about this. Hold on a second. Now, first of all, can you all see my page?
ما دیدن نمیتونم.
Oh, this. How about the students? Can you see it now? Okay. Oh my God. I've been going through this like crazy. There we go.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay, I'm totally, I really apologize for this. This is the first page I went through talking about the project. This is the actual syllabus front page, talks about course description, about objectives of the course, about the learning outcomes. I hope some of the things I said you remember, because I'm going to go quickly. The assessment method, there are basically 3 phases of the project. Pre-design, which is the research, design concept, and design development. And of course, the final presentation. I will try to send this. I'm not sure if Najim John shared this with you guys, but obviously he didn't, because he said that he was going to distribute it. But anyway, so when I stayed in the old museum in Kabul, was this beautiful writing. I remember also from my own research. یک ملت زمان زنده میماند که فرهنگش زنده بماند. I think students have to really learn from this very carefully, that this is so telling, so important. And part of my discussion and part of my teaching, and before I started, I said that all 3 faculty, 4, 5 faculty, we're trying to teach you something that you're aware of, that you know it, it's your day on and day to day experience in Kabul. So every Afghan knows about these places, about our history a little bit. So the this image shows the I downloaded to the research, shows the map of Babur, Bagh Babur. I love that word, Bagh Babur. And also shows the profile, the section up here of the section of the right here. It shows the actual section. It's beautiful. It's very gently risen up high, and there's a number there. You can look closely, and it tells you the elevation of the space. And then goes down to, let's call this ground zero, where you're going to have the your home, your visitor center. That would be down here, right here is going to be the visitor center. So I explained that the students must try to go there at least to have a visual visit. Look at the space. Look at the grand wall that encases the Bagh Babur. If they have an option to walk through it, would be wonderful to learn from it. And this is what we're talking about when we talk about a culture. Culture is not us as an Afghan. It's what makes us Afghans. It's our environment, our food, our belief, our clothes, our trees, our rivers, our mountains. So these are the things that are going to make us who we are there. Then I explained the composition of each group is 4 students. There will be 10 to 12 people working there. And the program down below tells you exactly where, what are the spaces. These are the minimum spaces. Perhaps students can add or subtract, but be very careful. When you add a space, you have to make sure that space is relevant to the project. Don't just put a Taj Mahal there, or don't put a shopping mall there, because it just doesn't make any sense. It's a place of public environment that everyone from all ages, all genders go there to visit, to learn. It's a place of learning, place of experiencing, place of knowing about who and why this Bagh Babur existed, and what inspired these people to design this amazing space. And there are some undetermined spaces that hopefully will students determine. You must make your research clear when you present after the research pre-design, and determine those spaces in terms of square meter. Sorry, Mary, again, John. I hope this you can see this now. It's a triangular. Thanks. It's a triangular space, and it has to somehow to be linked to the Bagh Babur somehow. And that's why in the list that I have created, let me go back, that I said this bullet point here, it says connection to the Bagh Babur, either bridge or tunnel. And that's why I made a comment about Sarah, because she said, do we have to do it because Kabul has other rules and regulations? And I said, I put a question mark that you have to make that decision and discuss it. It's important that this issue of circulation and connection from one space to another space, whether it's within the building or outside of the building, is part of architecture. Then, of course, we talked about the context of the river, Kabul River, the context of the actual community here, the context of these buildings here. What do they mean? How do they influence to design a new visitor center in this triangular site A? So that is part of the original pre-design research.
Mehdi John, Mazrat Mikhayam,
Can
you go back I would like to see the site in relation to the ball. Can we go back a little? Do you have an image that has the ball and your site?
Right here.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Okay, so the triangle would be where?
Right here. Can you see it? I just marked it in red. Can you see it? Right here.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it, but I don't see exactly the Pishri.
This is Bagh
right and left. I see. Okay.
Yeah, this is Bagh Babur, and there's a Kabul River that you can see. And that, let me see if I can mark it. Yeah, there's a.
ما فكر میکنم که این مثلث خارج باغ بابر است.
بله.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not within it. It's outside of it. خارج از باغ. حتما. Yeah.
شاگردها یا معلمین باید یک relationship همراهی از این سایت با باغ بابر بسازن. Right?
Correct. Absolutely. That was let me just mark this properly. This is Bagh Babur.
Okay.
This is Bagh Babur. The triangle is right here, and then there's a road in here. So this relationship of the triangle to the Bagh Babur is going to be very critical, how students are going to work it out. And of course, it's going to be part of the discussion with all of you that they have to generate some ideas that how it is going to.
The idea right here is an axial relationship. Look into
exactly.
That.
It's very axial. It has this very strong. Let me see if I can mark this. This very strong axis that students should be aware of. This.
Absolutely.
And it goes right to the triangle outside. So I think there's some meaningful issue here for the students to look at the bigger picture of not relating the building to just to the site of the triangle, but also to the rest of the Bagh Babur and to the community.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be really critical.
One idea they can actually look into the nearby cities and kind of weave to see if there's a pattern of grid, if there's no grid, if there's what type of relationship all these buildings have within the Bagh Babur.
Exactly.
They can study the fabrics of the land in the city and how it's built.
Exactly. And that is, I'm glad that you brought that up, because it has a contextual issue that they have to deal with as an architect. Architects always do that. We all know that that's what we do it. We have to make sure that, let's say view, let me go to full screen, see if it works properly. There we go. So, and then there's a program, of course, and then there's a site that we talked about. This interesting open site. They should really look into I'm just suggesting this. Don't take this as etched in stone kind of suggestion. Could this be a little Bagh Babur? Could it become a little Bagh Babur? I don't know. I mean, I'm just suggesting this. But these are the issues that students have to really become aware and Don't just jump in and design a structure, because that's how they were unfortunately trained, to just building a structure. No, we have to make sure we understand the forces, we understand all the issues around the traffic, the median, the edge of Bagh Babur, the distance between Bagh Babur and to the site, and also understand someone should go there and look into the pattern of movement. Now, I just want to make sure the students understand, especially the new ones, that they have to get help from the old students. The last class that we taught, we always started with pre-design, which is a research to truly understand the site from every aspect that you can think of, whether it's from contextual, physical, cultural, social, business, or weather, land formation, people attitude. So these are the things that they have to start considering during this. There's no design here, but there's a design of presentation. And Mehdi, you helped them quite a bit about how to present their work. And I'm so happy that happened. And students have to take this very seriously. Communication is the most critical aspect of what you show is your intention. But if you don't show and say it wrongly, people take a wrong assumption about your project. So there is a design, actual design of presentation that they have to, how to present the work and how to communicate. So in this phase, phase one, which is 2 weeks that they have to work on, the issues of social, environmental, spatial concerns that we talked about. For those girls who have not have a problem with English, they can use the Farsi part of it and get some feeling about what this is all about. And if you don't understand, please be in contact with me and with Professor Mehdi or Professor Tuba and Professor Umayun, and to clarify issues. There's a minimum requirement that you should do. Don't go back and forth. Don't try to create a confusion. It's very straightforward. You do the research, understand the place, you make a statement. Make a statement about how you feel. And a statement could be one paragraph. Very succinct, straightforward. What do you think about the space should be? Should it be sympathetic to Bagh Babur? Should or be emphasized as an independent space, or should it be perceived as a sub space for Bagh Babur? These are all the issues that you have to really look into very seriously and consider it. So you develop a statement, and then case studies. You have to find around the world, not just in Asia or in Africa or in America, everywhere you can think of. Online, there's plenty of examples of visitor center. Look at it, read, and take out some of the critical aspect that you feel is important for your project. Take it out and discuss it in your presentation. So the case. Go ahead.
ما وقتك inspiration میگیرم. I have to speak it right then. Otherwise باز یادم میره.
No, go ahead. Please, go ahead.
یک چیز دیگه میتونه باشه. این space خودت که میتونه که یک gateway to the Bagh Babur. It could be designed as to grab people from outside of the city to come and want to go into Bagh Babur. Why not that too? It's an idea.
Exactly. Could it be a space that has this continuous presentation about Afghanistan, about the culture of Afghanistan? So people come from outside, say, hey, let's go and see this free information or free video or whatever it may. Maybe there's some. This is really amazing suggestion, Mehdi. I'm so glad that you brought it up. Could there be a performative space outside this space in the garden that the Afghans do? They attend, for instance. Why not? That's part of our culture. Show it that they're proud of it. So these are the issues that it becomes very personal.
For case study, for something like this, you guys can go into look at LA Live, you can look at different areas that actually serve exactly that purpose.
Exactly. Study and investigate sociocultural aspects of the study, how this place will fit potentially in our culture and our day-to-day life. How would, for instance, Afghans benefit from it? How would Afghan contribute to it? Could it be someone say, okay, I'm going to create a space that they come in and give a lecture about how to make beautiful Afghan clothing, for instance. I'm not saying this is what it should be. I'm just throwing these ideas, okay? Identifying spatial and functional program. Program is incredibly critical. The diagram, and it should be, this is how it should be. Think about the very large, what we call it macro information, and go down to micro, which is the detail of the building, which is the programming, the diagrams, and the bubble diagram, and so on and so forth. The required documents, I'm not going to read it because you already have it from last semester. This is a copy of the last semester. Phase B, which is design concept. This is where the meat of the wonderful food. We talked about design concept previously, and we went over and over and over. And I must say, design concept can be simple, but can also be very complex and because you start from abstract. But the thing that's going to help you out is because you already have done the research. Learn from that and see if you can bring that and help you out to start thinking about creating space, creating a form. When I say space and form, space is interior and exterior. Form is the form of the building and form of the site, how the building sits on the site. So that should help you out, that you have to have some inspiration. We talked about this in the last studio, and you have to really search in your mind, in your own independent mind. What are the things that will influence your thinking to create this wonderful space? The spatial organization must be quite clear. Professor Tuba showed her project that how wonderfully she started from very abstract and developed this interior project beautifully to an actual building. And that space planning worked with what the program was given to her and showed how these spaces are related to each other, how they overlap, how they move away from each other, how they are connected to each other inside and outside. And I think that information is online, and I think you students, those of you who are new, must visit, look at it, learn from it.
باید ببینن و ویدیو را.
Absolutely. Now, also part of architecture study is how you visualize two-dimensionally and three-dimensionally. Two-dimensionally is, of course, the plans and elevations, and three-dimensionally is that to create a little model, rough model. I'm not saying that you have to go invest tons of money. Just get a brown cardboard from your neighborhood and come in and cut it and paste it and glue it and to see. And some students last class did a little bit, and I was really proud to see that, because that really helps to that you visualize the three-dimensionality of space. Use certain software. For instance, I always use this SketchUp, which is a very intuitive program, and it helped me out to see how it works. The form works on the site. Some thoughts, some ideas here. Identify furniture clearances between the object, which is the furniture, and how people move. And I'm sure Tubajon and Mehdi John will give hopefully some lessons to all of us to learn. By the way, on a related issue, I have uploaded interior design and architecture ebooks for the students online. I have it online, and I hope it's free, completely free. They can download it and read through it. They're there's tons of information there, and I can download more if they want to. Go ahead.
ببخش مهدی جان یک جگان پیش از اینکه ما فراموش میشه بگویم برای دختر خانم همه که کلاس ما گروپ A هنوز نمیفهمم کدام روز میتینگش هست و زوم انفورمیشنش هنوز نمیفهمم. امرای نجیم جان باید صحبت کنم. سلبس خود واخر آن کردیم برشان و یک پروگرام ما دو دیزاین کردیم که it's more of a for دختر خانمایی هستن که دیگری دارن already. So اینا به این فیزا را همه را گذاشتاندن we hope. اینا من سر از اونا یک a good investigative work میخوایم in terms of material, in terms of structure, in terms of design, space planning. اینا را همه را باید اینا investigate کنن و present کنن. invest میکنن و present میکنن. And then at the end we're going to have to find we're going to break a building completely down. I have 3 projects for them that they can choose one. Why, you know, break میکنن completely this project apart in terms of concept, material, how it was worked up, how many problems it solved, how many didn't, carbon footprint, all of that. They're going to have to investigate. And then they will present a redesign to better the problems. So ما برای دختر خانم‌ها میخوایم بگویم که اگر وقتش داشته باشن I would suggest you attend those courses just to listen. که ببینن که دخترایی که یعنی دیگری خود گرفتن در کدام لول هستن و از اون اگذر بتونن یاد بگیرن. That's all.
Absolutely. I think this is something that we all have to accept the fact that this is not a university course or class. It's a course that really opens your mind. Absolutely. It opens your mind to start questioning and be self-critical. I'm sorry to say that the last class I learned, and Najim John said, and even Uman John mentioned, that some of the, or most of the students learned through Kabul University or other universities approaching architecture purely from a physical building perspective, rather than from the human side. Because human side has far more complex needs than just a physical space that you sleep in. What is the quality of the space? How is that space, that bedroom is connected to the corridor? How is the corridor connected to the outside? How does the fresh air comes in? What do you want to see outside, or what do you don't want to see outside? How do you allow the building to breathe in terms of air and fresh, beautiful lighting coming in? And for instance, I posed to students, what would be the best place in Afghanistan to put a studio for painting? Is it the north side, south side, east side, or west side? Because that affects, the lighting affects how you see, how you use your brush to do a painting. It's really critical. So that's why I say they have to keep their minds really open. The students should really read this very carefully, this some thoughts, and so and that's how we develop the design concept. And then at the end of this period, it's about 90 to 95% of the project is pretty much done, and you start drawing two-dimensionally and three-dimensionally, and designing how you present your work. I always say this: you don't design just a building; you design your communication. How do you communicate your final project properly to the public? And this is a requirement for it should present. I said in A2 mounted board, but ignore that because it's a digital now. You're doing it online. Unless we all come in Kabul, all faculty, and we see your work physically. But anyway, so it's going to be digital. Then C is the design development. Here is that you're going to bring all the previous information in addition to your suggestions about technology of the building, the structure, the material, the HVAC possibly. How do you, is it passive, active, mechanical system? And again, you're going to redraw your plans, the elevations, 3D drawings. The graphic is going to be really critical, how you're going to put it together in a very cohesive, very logical manner to show it to us, and perhaps there will hopefully be other people that we invite to come in and look at your project from outside. I have colleagues that are fascinated to see how you girls are progressing, and hopefully you will do your work and show them that you're in par with most of the students internationally. And that's it. That's the end of my presentation, and hopefully this will give the students some direction, and hopefully they will read very carefully and to do their project. Any questions from students? I know it's getting late in Kabul. My God, it's one o'clock here. So if you have any questions, girls, please, it's a chance that you question and let the faculty here help you out. I hope they didn't fall asleep.
I didn't. I didn't.
I know. I know.
مهدی جان ما کسی سوال نکرد، من فقط یک سوال خودم دارم چون من در این لکچرها نو هستم. همین اگزکت تایمی که شما برای مد نظر گرفتین چقدر وقت است برای سشن شما؟
روزانه؟
همین امروز که مثلا فعلا ما یک و نیم ساعت که کت شما هستم.
ما گفتیم یک و نیم تا 2 ساعت بس از بخاطر
درست است. برای که ما باید بفهمیم که مثلا ما یک ذره برای که پرواکتیو باشیم، چند دقیقه بیشتر مد نظر بگیریم، یعنی تا 2 ساعت ما پلان کنم که در این لکچرها حضور داشته باشیم.
تشکر جانم.
تشکر بسیار زیاد و تشکر از نظریات نیک روحانگیز جانم، مهرانگیز جانم که مهرانگیز روحانگیز از اون بالاتر است.
درست میگیم، درست میگیم.
استاد مهدی ببخشین،
تشکر.
ندارم یک چیز اضافه کنم در این موضوع.
ببخشین، بفرمایید.
خب بدون شک که این سایت بسیار چالنجینگ است و مخصوصا که در دو طرف سرک 40 ستون است، همین در قسمت گذرگاه، و تا جایی که من خبر دارم این سرک به حد بیروبار است. یگانه اکسس است از طرف 40 ستون که میاد طرف گذرگاه و یک سایه بسیار خرد است که در اون طرفش دریاست. من always concern من اون موضوعات فلاد
وکیل گذار
و concern من
اینجان this is a compliment by the way.
بله؟
this is وکیل گذار گفته مستی برای که تو شکر امی کابل مخصوصا امی کل سرک با سرک میشناست. آفرینه. امی گفتم وکیل گذار.
مهرانگیز جان غیر مستقیم گپت زدی. خب
نه با خدا بسیار
برو ما شما خود کابلی هستیم.
به هر حال من خواستم که این وقتی که شما این ویزیتینگ سنتر اگر میگیرین که در باغ بابر کانکت میکنین، راستی که چالنج است. شما من فکر نکنم که بدون از اینکه یک برج شما دیزاین کنین کدام آپشن دیگه داشته باشین. اما در این طرف شما سایه خودتان آیا پارکینگ لات کار دارین ندارین، در یک سایه خرد 100% کار دارین و وقتی که بلدنگار شما لوکیت میکنین، این دریای چمچمه است، به نام چمچمه است یاد میشه این دریا و بسیار زیاد اوخیز است در زمانهای در وقت بهار. بعض وقتا حتی از سر پل گذرگاه او تیر شده که بیخی اوورلندش یعنی پلاک ساخته شده زیر اوورنال ریلیف است، یعنی از سیلبور هم که این پلا پوینتر است که شما وقتی که بلدنگا را لوکیت میکنین الیویشنش باید به قدر کافی بلند باشه که اگر کنم وقت سیلخیز میشه بلدنگا زیر او نشه. پارکینگ پروانه داره اما بلدنگ بسیار مهم است و دمی استادی که شما میکنین حال نام خدا طالبا سرکار کلان ساخته میرن. من نظرم ایست که اگر شما به یک ترتیب یا ولی جان شما را کمک کنه که پیدا کنین که چقدر این سرک در آینده اکسپاند میشه که امو موضوعات ما میفهم که یک پروژه شاید خیالی باشه، اما خوب است که اینمی المنت های زونینگ که ما در لکچرهای خود گفته بودم پیشتر امو را مد نظر بگیرین که آیا شما چقدر از سرک بلدینگ را دور بسازین که در آینده وقتی که راید آف وی کلان میشه، اکسپاند میشه، شما را افکت نکنه بلدینگتانه. و موضوع ترافیک استادی بسیار مهم است که در اونجا به حد بیروبار گفته ایرانی ها شلوغ است و شما باید که او را کانسیدر کنین برای اکسستان. من اینمی را فقط خواستم که اضافه کنم.
مثلا که ما اینجا من راست میگفتم نه، گوگل مپ کابل است نام خدا. خدا به هر جایی که ببینید چیگه پس ما اینجا رو پرسان کنیم.
میرنگیز جان حالا دیگه ترمیم نمیشه گپه که تزدی. خب
نه نیت ما رو بد نکنیم. نه ما با کامپلیمنت
من از نوعی هفت پرسان میکنم، چون ما تقریبا 12 سال در کنار پل گذرگاه زندگی کردیم، همونجا خانه ما بودک. ما از نوعی هفت پرسان میکنم که آیا این سرک پلان عزیز شدن یا پلان کلان شدن داره یا نه. باز شما در جیار میبرم.
همین انفارمیشن ها را باز که شاگردام شیر کنین ولی جان این موضوعات.
بسیار خوب.
در این گروپ شیر میکنم.
بله.
بسیار خوب. سارا جان سوال داره؟ بفرمایید سارا جان.
I wanted to say the same thing as Professor Himayan said, this very crowded street. The only hope is that 6 meters side of the land that you can make an entrance from there. Otherwise, the other sides are surrounded by river and also other buildings. And if it's about the cobble map is going to change, and people, some people share in Facebook and other social media the new map of the cobble and new streets that are going to be built. So if anyone could find that, please share it with us so we can make a sustainable plan for the land. Yeah.
Can you see this Google Earth, everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. I think Sarah John, just to answer you the question. I respect your concern about the width of the road, and most of the time in architecture, the boundaries or limitations create opportunities. Ehata. Create opportunity for architects. So I'm glad that you're bringing this up. But don't stop there. That should not stop you from moving forward in terms of, say, okay, hold on a second. There might be an opportunity from this problem. I would say, as an architect, I would even question. It's true that we're talking about this little triangle space, but what happens in looking at this Google map, and you align the center of this, the center of the Babur, and can you imagine that if you can extend over the river, Kabul River, and create another bridge, possibly? I'm not saying you create a bridge. Please stop that, okay? But just consider it as an architect and as perhaps even urban planner, that your building is going to influence people, poor people coming from this community. They have to go all around to come to this space. Is it possible to make this area a magnet in terms of the circulation, connection between Bagh Babur, perhaps even this area here? And that would allow you to start questioning in terms of connection. So architecture is not just a building. It's a circulation, it's connection, it's all that makes it really a viable and wonderful place to go for a visit.
یک چیز ما میخوایم که اد کنم براتون که as a student of architecture اینمی به هر پروژه there are parameters که problems we can look at them as parameters. We can't call it problems. Because remember, we are designers and we're supposed to solve those problems with our designs. So remember that, yeah, there are challenges, traffic, water, other buildings. In intention, what do you want to do with the site? You want opening to Bagh Babur, you want to relate Bagh Babur, like take it all the way so where people could come and extend the community or connect communities with that little design, that triangle. Or what do you want to do? What's your intention? And then look at the problems and then start solving it with design. That's how it works, basically.
I'm glad that you brought that in, because I remember when I was studying architecture, the teacher was wonderful. This guy used to work for Louis Kahn for years, and he used to come and teach us. And he said, when we study architecture and design, we always think about the immediate thing, but we don't think that this immediate thing has a connection. It has a soul connection.
Absolutely.
Not just a physical, but soul connection. I would love to see if students see any connection of the Bagh Babur to these walls. What do you call these? Diwalai Chimiganira. John
نه مهدی جان، ما یک چیز به می ارتباط گپ شما اضافه کنم که خب پیشترم همه که گفت که یک چالش سایز است و یک چالش پروژکت هم است. شما باغ بابر که شما از طرف چلستون اگر بیاین این طرف گذرگاه یا از این طرف برین، شما نوتس نمیکنین که این یک باغ است. یک دیوال کلان سابق از کاغل بود یا از خشت بود، حالا او کنکریت کردن، یک رنگ کردن. یک دروازه کلان سبز بسیار بدرنگ داره که دو تلاشی میکنن و فقط تقریبا زندان پلچرخی وری خدای نکرده است. اینی چیزی که شما میکنین که امی کنکشن را که دو طرف سرک شما یک چیز را جور میکنین و که باغ بابر کنکت میکنین، اینمی اگر شما در باغ بابر امی تشریح که کردم که از بیرون اوتر است ولی درونش که مدرین واو است. شما کار کنین که این از بیرون یک آدم ببینه واو بگوید. شما اینطور یک کار کنین که امی خود کنکشن، اگر شما قلعه بسته اگر ندیدین شما عکسایش اگر شما ببینین یک آرچ است. شما میتونین که اونطور یک کانسپتار حساب استفاده کنین و خود باغ بابر forget about this extension or visiting center. خود بابر واو بسازین و او یعنی بسیار چیز بسیار جالب میشه برای شما که امی کنکشن به یک شکل که هیستوریک آرکیتکچر خود امی موضوعات پرزرویشن شارکونی کابل اگر شما مد نظر بگیرین یا خود کانسپت درون باغ بابر، عکسایش هست بسیار زیاد در اینترنت، امور در نظر بگیرین، بیارین یگان المنتایش هم بیارین دینمی آرچتان بزنین و باغ بابر به اصطلاح به چشم باغ بابر جور کنین، نه ای که یک آدم بره نامش بخونه که باغ بابر. یعنی فقط
gateway yes, make a gateway to باغ بابر, make it a place where people can see.
And there's a masjid also. I'm sorry, there's a masjid also inside Bagh Babur.
Wow, okay.
Research.
I think that axial, that pinky building, that pink building that's all the way, where's the mosque? Can we zoom in to see where the mosque is? Unu Babur grave is right there.
Right there.
خیالم که تو باجان او مسجد نیست، همونجا قبر بابر است.
قبر بابر است، بله بله.
یک قبر دومش هم است، یک مسجد هم است. در سایت که من دیدم یک مسجد هم بود. برای
اونمو اکسیال چی که پینک است، اونمو شاید یا مقبره بابر باشه یا کدام چی، ولی که it has an axial relationship.
I think that's
مقبره.
Yeah, but just to follow Monjan and Merengue John's discussion, I think students say, how do I create design concept? Oh my God, just look at this map of Kabul. Look at the richness and look at all these wonderful opportunities. You have Bagh Babur. Bagh Babur has a direction, 2 directions. Would the geometry of this help you out to set up your platform or this triangular space and divide it in a sense that it actually aligns with that? Or there are other things here that may help. The curvature of the river, for instance. I know that there are probably millions, but looking at this map, it has the most richness of texture and all these veins going through the city from point to point. It's incredibly exciting, and I can't wait to see how students come up. And this is what students should really realize, that when you look at the space, is when you start designing, you have to look at the whole city first, and then zero down to your site. Say, what did I learn from the city? City is a conglomeration of residential and commercial, and then you have the Kabul River snakes right through wonderfully, beautifully. That really enriches this. And the mountains, of course. I mean, look at these mountains, these wonderful mountains that exist there. So anyway,
I mean,
yes,
I literally see some grid, like a curvature grid that is in one area that you can look at all of those things.
correct.
و یک چیز میخواستم بگم مهدی جان پیش از اینکه خودت ادامه بدی دخترای عزیز شاگردا این را بفهمن که این کلاس های شما یک رحمت خداست براتون. برای از اینکه ما این پول خود اقدر دادیم به اینجا به مکتب و هنوزم قرض دارستیم براتون بگیم اینمت انفرمیشنه که اینمی استادا براتون میتن با خدا ما اینمت انفرمیشن به 8 ساله که مکتب رفتم نگرفتیم. خود ما باید جانکنی میکردیم، خود ما باید کار میکردیم. حالا ببینید شما در یک پروژه تان یک 5 ایده مختلف براتون آمد. Suggestions, ideas, you take it and let's see where you take it. باور کنین که این بسیار براتون ارزشمند است. خدا کنه که از بفهمید.
مهدی جان بسیار دیسکشن جالب است. خوشحالم که دگان باشم. ما باید برم.
تشکر جانم.
خداحافظ.
تشکر جانم. همه ما میریم. If the students have any question, any specific question about this project, please send me your question, and I'll try to answer you in the best way. And also look forward to your progress for the next class next Wednesday. All right, everyone.
تشکر مهدی جان. با تایید گفته میرنگیز جان که یک توفه است. باید این توفه را که پرایسلس است همگی به او ارزش، چون در افغانستان یک فرهنگ با تأسف بد آمده چیزی که مفت باشه با اون نظر چی نمیبینن. اما در دیگه دنیا شما ببینید، من در یوکی رفتم، من 1 سال در جای ولنتیر کار کردم. برای من تو یک مکاتیب و تحصیلنامه دادن که این یک کس است که آمده اینجا ولنتیر کار کرده. یعنی او در دیگه دنیا این کار که شما میکنین اصلا هیچ کس نمیتونه که او را قیمت بانه، پرایسلس است. و این شاگردا هم امیدوار هستم که نمی ارزش بفهمن و از این فرصت، از این اپورتونیتی استفاده اعظمی بکنن. تشکر بدار.
بسیار تشکر اما شاگردای عزیز، شب بخیر. Hope we will stay in touch. Thank you so much.
دوستای عزیز شما روزایتان خوش، شبایتان خوش. انشالله باز میبینیم next time.
خداحافظ.
مهدی جان بسیار تشکر.
جانم تشکر از خودت.
خداحافظ.
وقت همه